Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to PAY360 2019.
Yeah, hi, I'm Alex Reddish. I'm CCO of Tribe Payments.
So, Alex, what brought you to PAY360 today?
I came to meet my peers, my friends, my colleagues, but ultimately because of the content, the richness of content, the overarching interest I had in understanding what life looked like post-PSD2, what the challenger banks are going to do to stay relevant, and actually what the regulator looks at us and thinks, which we don't often get to hear about.
Okay. And were there any insights that you'll be taking away?
I definitely think that knowing that the FCA is in a collaboration mode rather than dictator mode is a great thing to have. I think the fact that challenger banks are focusing on execution and customer experience is something that we should all take away and look at ourselves in our own businesses for. What I have noticed today is there's been a very big lack of crypto discussion. There's been very minimal conversation around blockchain and what is happening there. So I think not necessarily that it's news to me, but it's very interesting to see that the market move away from that conversation.
So what's changed, do you think?
I think the buzz around Bitcoin, its price, I think that has gone away, and I think people have realised it's harder to make money in that world. I think people are now looking at it much more cautiously with a view to monetising it as opposed to driving marketing value. It's evident that everyone is looking at how they can drive consumer experience, consumer change, seamless payments, seamless onboarding, seamless execution. I think the way we've built our platform allows us to do that today, but it's about how we continue to do that tomorrow.
Tom Longhurst, Sales Director with event sponsor Banking Circle.
So events like this are critical for us as a business. We've only been around sort of 5 odd years, live for 3.5. And the EPA and PAY360 are, as I said, critical for our continuing growth, success as a business. The attendees here are always strong, people that we know from the industry. And the reason it's so important for us to be here is that everyone here is a potential client, a potential partner or supplier. So if we're not here, I think we're missing out. Lending is something that is sort of supplementary to payments, and we're starting to see more and more how the industry is evolving to provide more holistic solutions, not just at the sort of structural level with PSPs, acquirers, etc., but also at a lower level to merchants who desperately need the money, not just to move swiftly, efficiently and at low cost, but they need more funding as well. And the solutions that we were discussing today help them better acquire that money and help them grow. It's a new innovative solution we've developed that's a sort of bolt-on to the typical payment solutions we provide. And it's a small business lending tool that we deliver to our infrastructure partners, people that are in the room today, PSPs and acquirers, to better help their merchants grow, thrive, and I suppose weather the storm of what we've got at the moment with the economic uncertainty we're facing.
My name's Siobhan Moore and I'm from Lochlord. I came along to hear about some developments that are going on in the market, particularly curious to hear about the technology developments, just to hear from the non-traditional financial service providers. There was Facebook, Alipay around, and I thought they were quite interesting. Just wanted to get a view of their perspective of how payments fits in with their business proposition.
Have you got any answers to your questions yet?
Well, actually, it is always useful just to gauge what the sort of temperature is and the appetite is for payment service providers and those that are circling and wanting to use payment services. So that has been useful for me, but from looking at how the non-traditional financial service providers are approaching payment services has been really interesting. So we've heard from MasterCard, and as I said before, it's Facebook and Alipay, and they're relatively new to the market, and that in itself is valuable to hear. So for me, I'm always looking from a regulatory perspective as how someone achieves what is actually a smooth customer experience. And that's the thing that I find interesting, is that all these businesses, when they're delivering the payment services of whatever they're focusing on, they have to go through certain hoops, be it security, be it regulatory, but ultimately they have to be successful, and that's about customer delivery and making it a smooth proposition. So that's what I'm interested in, is how they can make it as customer friendly as possible.
Marion King, Director of Payments with event sponsor NatWest and RBS.
What I was doing was talking about what's changing, what's emerging, but don't forget about today. Regulation, how does that play in? And then what customers want and need, and that's all customers, and the tensions that these things create. We want to go faster, but we want it to be safe. And those two things aren't always complementary. So it was those sorts of themes that are coming through, which is interesting. When I joined 17 years ago, it was really technology, infrastructure that sat in the back office through which messages and money flowed. Now it's an entire industry. It's exciting, it's vibrant. It was great this morning. The first 4 speakers were women. Next big thing is we will be moving with the pace of the market, but in a creative way, into open banking. We will be becoming a payment initiation service provider, providing partnerships with our corporate customers and others. We've just announced that we're piloting the first biometric card, which I think is really exciting. And it's about, fast payments, but make it safe. The UK is seriously punching above its weight when it comes to the payment industry. I think the first thing to highlight is that we're number 3 in terms of level of investment in fintech. And that's against China and America. Also, I was talking on the platform earlier about real-time payments, and our network is nearly 11 years old. Other countries are just thinking about or just launching. And so the UK is ahead of the game in many ways. We have a highly digital population. And so a lot of the firsts are happening here, which I think is incredibly exciting.